Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. This is our first show of 2015.
It's good to be back.
In Missoula Live, I'm Joel Baird.
And I'm Kim Anderson on the board with MCAT.
Yeah, and it's January already.
It's almost
kind of
over.
Shocking. Yeah, I went to New York. I got sick. I couldn't do the show.
We are so
And
lucky
then
to
it
have
was,
him back.
Then it was MLK Day, so that threw us off. So we're glad to be doing another show. We've got a lot of guests. I have a few things to say at the start of the show about MCAT. One, that on Wednesday, February the 11th, we'll be offering our MCAT tour and training. So you get to go around the facility and see what you think of it and see what we have to offer in the way of cameras and editing equipment and so on. Also, I'm going to mention it now, but just a little. The website is up, and I wanted to say about the website that we've put up a feature wherein if you have a program you've made and put on YouTube, you can submit it to MCAT to show on the channel just using that very small online form.
That's brand new. Nice.
Yeah, it's brand new. So the people who put their name, email address, and the URL location of their YouTube that they made, and check off a box saying, I agree to the program contract provisions, and then we'll show it on the channel. Because I think there's a lot of older people that have cable that don't have the internet. So there's all this programming out there that they'll never see from Vimeo and YouTube and social media too.
Exactly.
So that's the notion. Then in order, I should have said firstly that we are going to participate in First Friday this coming February 6th. 5 to 8 p.m. We've got an artist. Scott is going to show, if he's not too shocked at Sam's return when he should be in class, he's going to show Garrison Wood's Flickr account, because Garrison Wood is going to be the photography artist that's going to show this First Friday.
Good.
Garrison comes from Hamilton, and he was trained by our own Christian Ackerman at MAPS, which is, Media Arts in the Public Schools. So he'll have a new set of photography that he's going to show in the MCAT gallery on Friday, February 6th, and the reception, which is kind of like a beer, wine, snack reception, will be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I have to mention it, MCAT's turning 25 this year, 2015's 25th anniversary of MCAT. And the actual day of cable casting, of course there was an MCAT, a nonprofit. I went to my first MCAT board meeting in May of 1989.
Wow.
Is when I went to it. So that was coming up on 26 years. People help me, I'm caught in time.
He's so old.
Yeah, what's going on? So this 25th anniversary is going to be on Earth Day. Wednesday, April 22nd. I don't know exactly when. I was thinking of like an open house, 4 to 9, but we're having a board meeting tomorrow. Maybe we can nail down the particulars. But I'm saying save the date.
Save the date. And maybe people who have good ideas of things that would be celebratory could get on our Facebook page.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Go to Missoula Community Access Television on Facebook. Give us ideas of what you would like to see at this party. It can't be too wild. I mean, the parties are a lot the same, but the people. But anyway, there could be something.
Yeah.
Dunking for apples.
Maybe someone has stuff from way back in the time machine.
Yeah.
They can,
That's right. And we'll have that too from our vault. So that's all I've got. I don't know if you have things you want to say about Humanities Montana.
Yeah, very quick thing, because we have very patient guests sitting here waiting to go on. But I did want to say that February 19th is Humanities Montana's Governor's Humanities Awards. And
nominations?
No,
or this is the announcement?
Event.
Oh, the event.
It has been announced. And
nominations have taken place.
Yes.
But
they'll be held at the Rotunda in Helena at the state capitol on the 19th at 3 p.m. With the Lieutenant Governor. We'll honor these 6 Montanans, and then a banquet that night. So if you would like to see I won't go through the whole long list, but if you'd like to see bios and information on the award winners, and information about the banquet or the daytime event, please go to our website, humanitiesmontana.org.
See, that's pretty good. Okay, moving right along then, our patient guests, Treylock and Ailish of University of Montana Irish Studies program.
Studies.
They're up to more hijinks. I'm holding up the poster. Oh, but Scott has a poster back there, but it is a very beautiful poster
Yes.
outlining the music and song of Ireland. And it's a course that one could take at University of Montana. It fulfills the general ed
There it is.
requirement. There is, okay, that.
And so we.
Those are the concerts. They're not the same as this.
Okay, so it's two.
Sorry, people.
So why don't we let Ailish and Trellick
Yeah.
describe
Take
what's
it
going to
away.
happen?
Do you want to talk about the concert first or the class?
Well, you can't really, they're distinct but not separate. And
Okay.
what I mean by that, what we have here is a continuation of a program that we started some years ago, Irish Studies in collaboration with the School of Music, and particularly Patrick Williams. As part of the Irish Minor, we are committed to offering students an opportunity to learn about Irish music and Irish traditional music. So Patrick Williams went and visited with a guy called Geróda Halloráin, who was the head of the Irish music program down at the University of Missoula, and they collaborated and put together a program that would provide students with this kind of an experience. And one of the key elements was bringing in musicians from Ireland, particularly those that came from homes that were the hereditary custodians of the tradition. So generally speaking, what has been the case from the very beginning is that we've had musicians come in who have learned music not at school or not at college, but from their parents or from their grandparents or whoever was in the house. They're basically heirs to a tradition, and a lot of them have been playing music, as they say back in Ireland, back at the time when God was a small boy.
You're right.
So this is a continuation of that program. So there's a course, and then because Irish Studies exists because of the community and the Irish culture in the community, there are also public concerts there, so members of the community can come along and hear these great performers. And also there are going to be workshops, so those who play music and want to actually take a workshop from any of these musicians, they are quite welcome to sign up and do so. And as you see as well, the course is sponsored by the Friends of Irish Studies. Again,
Right.
That's that community organisation that does so much to make this Irish Studies programme such a great programme.
So the classes themselves are going to take place once a week, is that right?
Correct.
And Ailish, you're going to be leading those classes?
Yeah, so it's every Wednesday evening from 6 till 9. And as part of that course, I'm going to be doing about the theory of the music, and then there's going to be a practical element as well. Everybody's going to learn how to play the tin whistle, which is
Oh,
a kind of most basic instrument in Irish music. But everybody learns it in school when they're young, so that should be fun as well.
Excellent. And there's a number of guest artists from Ireland with these instruments: accordion, concertina, and flute. Help me on the pronunciation of
Bowron.
Boran.
It comes from the Irish word. It's actually a Sanskrit word. Bawira in Sanskrit is deaf. Bawr in Irish is deaf. And Bowron is the drum that deafens you.
Wow.
Really loud.
Whistle and piano, and of course the fiddle. That's fascinating about that. About
That
the
it
bow.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why it's so Irish is studied in so many departments in Europe, because, you know, you had that bardic tradition which preserved the original meanings of words. So when German philologists were trying to, you know, trace back the origins of languages and so forth, they came upon Irish and found all these cognates and so forth. So you find in, you know, all over Europe, philology departments that study Irish simply for that reason.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's a whole load of them.
That's so
Right,
wow.
right.
I do remember something, you know, about language where it was something Proto-Indo-European, and from which all these languages were flowing, but it's just all a fragment in my mind. It really is.
So we have the classes going on every Wednesday, 6 to 9 p.m., and that's for university students. And is it possible for anyone in the community to sign
Traditional
up?
and non-traditional students
Fabulous,
to
great.
come and participate, and traditional and non-traditional students can sign up for the workshops, and we encourage everybody to come along and support the concerts as well, because the concerts will help to offset the costs of bringing in the musicians.
Sure. So there's a ticket price for the concerts separate from the classes.
There is, yeah. No, all students that sign up for the class will get tickets
They
for
get
free.
in. Now, see,
Yeah.
that would be the way to go then.
Oh, see, Scott's so good. He put it up.
Yeah.
A Springtime of Irish Music and
So
Song.
these are the concerts.
February 7th, 21st, March 7th, 21st at 7 p.m. And I remember, Treylock, you came in and filled out a media assistance grant, so MCAT will record.
Them.
Yeah.
And we
Right.
post them on. And that's something we should have been doing for years and years. And we
Yeah.
haven't done.
That's going
Now
to be
we have
great,
the
too.
audio, and we have some absolutely wonderful recordings. I think back one time to a guy called Seamus Begley, and he came out and he sang a song called Madden Imera, which means one morning in the Beara Peninsula. Now the Beara Peninsula is where most of the Irish in Montana came from, and a lot of them are familiar with the song.
Interesting.
So he sang it up there, and it's sung to the tune of Danny Boy, and you could hear a pin drop inside in that auditorium.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah, it was incredible.
Well, this series of concerts will be preserved, which will be great.
Yeah.
And the concerts are going to be where?
Every concert will be at the UM Recital Hall.
Recital Hall,
There'll be,
nice.
every concert will be on a Saturday, and the kind of corresponding dates in February and March. So the first one is going to be on the, is it the 7th there?
Yeah.
And then the 21st of February, the 7th of March, 21st of March. And this is all kind of a lead up as well to that crazy season. You know,
The
as they call it, St.
springtime.
Patrick's Day.
Because something that happens in March, I can't
Yeah.
remember what it is. But
Yeah, I mean, it's coming. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
Silly season.
should we give a phone number? I don't know. I
Or
didn't see a phone
website?
number.
Yeah.
Or-
If you want information on it, you can call, I suppose you can call me.
Sure.
It's 406-544-0311.
But not too
Okay.
late at night. He has kids, so.
Right. It's gotta
Well,
go
I
get
have
it.
a kid, and basically the kid is like a vampire. Like he
Staying up all night.
sleeps by day and prowls by night.
Call him
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah.
He's up. Yeah.
Well, I was telling someone I was in work this morning in my office at 5 o'clock. Weren't you up very early? How'd you get out of bed that early? And he says, well, I didn't really have much joy. I said, a little fellow got me out of bed that early, so I was up, you know?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Well, this sounds like a great class and a great series. And last time you guys were here, you were kind enough to play for us.
It looks like you're poised.
Can
Yes,
we
I'm
get
ready.
you to play something for us
Why
before
not?
we
Why not?
move on?
I'll play a couple of reels.
So just a taste of what
Yes,
people will
just
get
a taste,
if they
yeah.
participate.
Yeah.
Either by going to the concerts, taking the class, taking the workshops.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, thanks so much. So you got to
Thanks
come
so
back
much, you
soon and
guys.
report on the progress.
We will. We'll be back
Yeah.
again.
All
Okay.
right, thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for
everyone,
having us.
for having us.
Yeah. We'll be right back. I see you, Susan Renault, in the doorway. So we're going to talk about VFW Boy Scout Awards next, right after several shots of this.
The harlequin duck is one of Montana's rarest birds. Currently wintering on the Pacific Ocean, harlequins migrate to Montana's streams to breed in the spring. One of the most productive areas is McDonald Creek in Glacier Park.
This 10-mile stretch of the creek from Lake McDonald to Logan Creek produces 25% of all of the chicks that are produced in Montana and has the highest breeding density of harlequins in the lower 48.
But when no harlequin duck chicks were found on McDonald Creek a few years ago, researchers wanted to learn more.
We had radio transmitters on these females, and we wanted to look at, where in the stream do the females want to be in relationship to different stream features and habitat features, and also distance to going to the Sun Road.
While Montana is on the southeastern extent of the harlequin's range, there is concern these rare ducks are in decline.
Across the board, they're just difficult to study. They occur in these remote locations. Very little research has been done, and we just don't know much about them.
Through his research, Hansen believes we need to continue to monitor Montana's harlequin ducks and conserve the waters they use to maintain the harlequin in the future.
It's really important to know what are the focal streams, what are the important streams where a lot of these ducks are coming from, to focus our efforts to think about how the stream is being managed.
I'm Winston Greeley, out among Montana's fish, wildlife, and parks.
And we're back. We're back with Jack and Susan Renault. Jack is here to talk about the Veteran of Foreign Wars old Post 209, which is our local post. The posts are currently accepting applications for the VFW's 2015 Scout of the Year Scholarship Program. So the deadline is March 1st. I'm going to let you guys take it away. Welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
I'm just here for red, white, and blue.
Right. You're just here
You're the eye candy.
for the eye
I
candy.
can't be.
Right.
Go for it.
Okay, this is a national program,
Right.
and it's available for participants are on the Boy Scouts or Eagle Scouts, Girl Scout Gold Award winners, Sea Scouts, and Venture Scouts, and they're all eligible to apply. We rarely ever, in the 6 years I've done it, we've never had a Girl Scout apply or a Venture Scout
No kidding.
or a, the Sea Scout. So we hope we can get some.
Yeah.
So these are different, like the things you mentioned are different than what people think of as the Boy Scouts. The Sea Scout, and that's sea as in ocean,
Right.
as in water, as I
Yes.
see here. Sea Scout Quartermaster Award. So what's going on with the Girl Scouts? They just don't know that they can apply? This is no...
I was a Girl Scout, and I
Yeah.
really want them to apply.
Yeah, yeah. And these are scholarships that are can be used to go on to university or college, or
You can use them for whatever you want. At the
Cash.
There's three levels: the local level, the post, and all the posts in Montana can participate, and they all have different awards. At our post, we have everybody gets a certificate, and then we have 3 award prizes, which is 150, 250, and 350.
Wow.
So
Not bad.
it's not
It's
bad.
not bad.
And that's at the local level,
That's
but when they go on to state and national, the awards get
It
higher.
varies. There's another level up, the district level. Our VFW post is in District 1, and there's 7 or 8 districts in the state. And then the winner from each one of those goes to the state level, and from there one is picked to go to the national level.
And what he's not telling you is that he is the state coordinator. So
Well,
he's trying to-
I didn't know that Jack was the state coordinator because it does say all applications with entry criteria in the Missoula area only should be submitted to you,
Right.
Jack Renault,
And that
Commander, VFW Post 209-245 West Main Street, 59802.
Right, and that includes Frenchtown to Clinton. Stevensville has their own post, so,
Okay.
you know, as a state coordinator, though, if they can't find their local post, that I can help them do that.
Great.
Great.
And it doesn't, and we know you're just Missoula, but there may be people listening today that have relatives in Billings or Bozeman
Yeah, they
or
should know
whatever,
about
and
it.
they
Right.
can apply.
So they could be
Statewide.
currently registered scouts who are 15 to 18 years old that have received the Eagle Scout Award. So they should know they have to have that level of advancement.
Correct.
Or the Girl Scout Gold Award. So that's a
Like Eagle Scout.
level for Girl Scouts. Venture Summit Award or Sea Scout Quartermaster Award.
And the
And-
thing, you know, these are kids that are probably 17 or 18
Yeah.
that are, like you said, getting ready to go to college.
Right.
This looks really good on an application.
Sure.
Oh,
Plus you
sure.
get cash for it.
Right.
And if they
right.
go to the national level, the first place winner at the department state level will then compete in VFW's National Scholarship Program, where the scholarship awards are $5,000 for the first place,
Yeah.
Yeah.
$3,000 for second, and $1,000 for third place.
So on the local level, Jack, what's involved with applying? Is it an application form or an essay or?
Right, they can either contact me or go on the VFW Scout Award website
Okay.
and find out the criteria. And being one of those levels of scout is the first criteria.
Sure.
And any Eagle Scout, any Girl Gold Scout Award winner can participate, and same with Sea Scout Quartermaster and that. So
Does
as long as they're currently registered.
Oh, and we
Oh,
have the
okay.
website up.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Yeah, so people at home, if that's too
That's
small
it.
for you, I guess you should Google Veterans of Foreign Wars Scout Award. I think that would get them,
You're right.
and
Right.
maybe put Missoula in there. Because sometimes I know at home people have smaller TVs, and it's hard for them to see
Right,
that.
that's the national application there.
Right.
Okay. And again, what is the deadline?
It's March 1st.
March 1st. So this is
Yeah,
And
there's
it
time.
no
does-
delay.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can't thank you enough for letting us come.
Oh, Holly,
it's a
I'm
great
glad to see you again. It's been a
opportunity.
while,
I
and
know,
I've
it's
never
been a
met
while.
Jack, I don't think.
I know.
So that's nice to see him.
He's cuter.
You got,
Getting cute couple. Yeah.
I'm red, white, and blue, and
you
he's
got the
not.
jewelry. And people may remember Susan has been on this show quite a bit with all the work that she does for the Memorial Day
Yes.
veteran services in town. So if you haven't gotten an award, you deserve one
No.
for that. I mean, it's been years of
Oh,
working and working
I've
and working.
known you for years, and
on
you were
flag-
like 2 when I met
Yeah,
you.
I know. I'm aging like in this chair. Like I'm doing a time lapse of the 15 years I've done this show, and then if I have 15 more, it'd make the movie much better.
We are so glad to know about this opportunity. It's a great chance
Yeah.
for local youth, and I hope lots of young men and women take
Yeah, it's
advantage
got the
of
Girl
it.
Scouts and the
Right.
Boy Scouts
You know, I
are
hope the
able.
parents will tell their Eagle Scouts and
Yeah,
girls.
Yeah, if they're working that hard, they might as well work a teeny bit more to get more recognition. for it.
exactly. So if you're a parent and you've got a kid out there who's in the Scouts, take advantage of
Well,
this.
and the application process is quite simple.
Great.
Okay, so
So
once they're
it's,
in, it's not like they have to fill out 10 pages of
Well,
essays. Or
actually, there are some, they have to fill out something about their Boy Scout experiences and achievements, then their community service achievements, and their high school achievements. What do they participate in, or what are they an officer on?
Right.
So they don't want to wait till the last minute.
No,
actually.
because it'll take
Right.
time to put together
Yep.
the application.
And they need 5 letters of recommendation.
Oh, wow, that's going to take time.
Or let me correct that, up to 5.
Oh,
no more
okay.
than
Oh,
5.
okay.
But they, yeah.
Could be 1 or 2 or 3,
Right.
but not
And I've
more.
noticed people are really good about that. You know, when I'm asked, I don't take that long. And when I ask people, but I don't know how long, they were really good about it. But
Mm-hmm.
all these things do take time, you know, you can't say, write me a letter of recommendation, I'm picking it up in an hour.
Correct.
Usually it's like a
But, you know,
couple of days.
these are the kinds of things that kids in that age group who are going on to college or whatever are probably thinking about anyway.
Well, and I was
Yeah.
going along with that, these are also the same children that already have a file folder
Right.
full of
Yeah.
They're
recommendations.
organized.
They're going to be pretty organized. If they've
Very
gotten up to the
organized.
Eagle Scout Award or Girl Scout Gold
They're
Award.
already way ahead of where
Yeah.
I was at that
Yeah,
age.
me too. I got to
Never did I make
the Cub
goals.
Scouts, and then
Never.
it kind of drifted
Yeah.
away.
Although
so.
we're in the presence of an Eagle Scout.
Oh,
Okay,
very
so
good.
he was always
He
organized.
was very
Yeah.
He
organized.
was always prepared.
But
Yeah.
I wasn't.
It's a beautiful pairing. Well, I guess we better go. I see it's almost halfway through
Yeah,
the
I
show.
know. But thank you
Jeez.
guys for doing this good work.
Yes.
And I hope you get a lot of applications.
Yeah, and remember, viewers, the deadline is March 1st.
Yes.
For this. All right, we'll be right back with our next guest
Art Museum
here on
auction.
Missoula Live. Yeah, Anna's going to come out.
Yeah.
I'm Montana Hope.
I am Montana Hope.
I am Montana Hope.
For the last 30 years, the Montana Hope Project has been granting wishes to Montana children who face life-threatening illnesses.
I'm Montana Hope.
To make a donation and help their wishes come true, please visit montanahope.org.
Come on, guys. Rolling? Good. When hiking in bear country like this, it's important to remember your essentials, like bear spray and knowing how to use it. Liam, where's my bear spray?
I put it in the bottom of your pack.
I didn't mean... How am I supposed to get it quickly?
When adventuring in bear country, remember, bring bear spray and know how to use it. Hike in groups, make noise, and don't run. Be bear aware.
Child abuse is more common in Montana than people may realize. I'm Montana Attorney General Tim Fox. You have the power to report suspected child abuse. Call 1-866-820-KIDS.
This message is brought to you by the Montana Attorney General's Office, the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services, and Northwestern Energy.
Can you spot?
There we are. Oh, we're having so much fun.
Well, yeah, we're looking through the catalog of Missoula Art Museum's Ruby Jubilee, celebrating 4 decades of contemporary art, and the art auction is coming up.
It is.
Yeah. And Anna Buxton is here from the MAM. Welcome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you know it. So what is going on? What should people know about the art auction?
Well, there's a lot to know. There's a lot going on. So we were just talking about all the art. So mainly the most important thing, I think, is the art that's on display, and it's on display right now. So even if you can't make it to the auction, you can come and see the art at the museum. So we have 40 pieces in the silent auction and 40 pieces in the live. The auction itself, I should say, is Saturday, February 7th at the UC Ballroom on campus. And it's just a really good time. We're celebrating our 40th anniversary, which is in 2015. And we're celebrating it with a Ruby Jubilee. So as if any of you have been to the auction before, you know, people like to dress up. So we're encouraging a lot of ruby slippers and ruby themed dresses and suits or whatever. So lots of
Yeah, I
red.
guess guys could get a ruby tie easily.
I told you, Ed has it all planned out, and I'm going to be rummaging in my closet tonight because I don't know what I'm wearing.
Right.
There's still time. There's still time.
Now, Anna, is it a dinner that evening as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there is. The dinner starts usually around 6:37, somewhere between there, and you get to choose your choice of entrees. So it's a 3-course dinner.
Yeah.
And you have been back at the University Center for a few years now, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's a lovely location.
It is.
Central.
It's real big. We have a pretty big crowd. We had around 450 people attend last year. So we're expecting those numbers again this year.
Wow.
And that's, yeah.
Are there still tickets available?
There are, yeah. And you can go to our website to get tickets, www.missoulaartmuseum.org.
Yeah, we know we have that back there. Yeah.
Oh, great, good.
I don't know what that says. I can't read
there
it
we go.
from here. It's getting bigger. I like that.
Yeah, there's a
Okay,
lot of
thanks, Dawn.
places on our website to buy tickets. You can also call the museum or just pop by. Lots
Great.
of ways to get tickets. Yeah.
Right.
And if you do get tickets, now you can attend the ticket holder reception, which is on Thursday, the 28th. No, the 29th.
Yeah, this coming Thursday.
Yeah, this coming
right?
Thursday in a couple of days is the 29th. So everybody that has a ticket or is planning on coming to the auction is invited to come and view the art up close. We have champagne, and we'll be able to talk with staff members and our board president, Betsy Bach, about the art, kind of more one-on-one with the art before the actual
that's
event.
really good, because in the auction, it may be distant. Are the pieces held up? I haven't been in so long.
They are. You know, the
So just like a Sotheby's auction?
Yeah, yes, definitely. We get the white gloves out, and
Right.
the Hellgate Art Club helps us out every year.
Yes.
So the members of the Hellgate Art Club will come and present the art, and it's all very very
that's
fancy.
great.
It's very exciting, but I think it is wonderful to have the show hanging in the museum right now, and to have opportunities like the champagne reception to really get, this is, sometimes can be a decision you might want to spend some time
Well, yeah,
making.
right.
Or you can just get carried away in the moment. Like
Right.
I have.
Have you done that? You've bought
Not for a
like
few years, I've been pretty good, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Sometimes
it's
you
easy
just
to get carried
swept
away.
up. It's so much fun. And who's the auctioneer this year?
Her name is Jonna Wells, and she's out of Portland. So Benefit Auctions is the company, and it'll be the second year we've worked with that company. So we're excited. It's actually going to be our first year working with her, but we're excited to work with her. We've been working with her all year over the phone, working our way up to this event.
Yeah.
And Anna, can you just talk for a minute about, why this fundraiser, what it does with the money you raise at this event?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's our largest fundraiser of the year. It's the only time we actually sell art. As many of you know, we're a contemporary art museum, so we don't sell any of the work that we have on display. So this is the one time a year that we do make that exception, and it's to help raise funds for our general operating, so our education programs, all of our tours. Our 5th grade art experience just finished last week, where every 5th grader in Missoula and the county really come through the museum, get a tour with our art educator, Renee, and get to make art. So that's a huge way that we raise funds. It's really important for us to keep programs like that going.
Yeah.
And admission to the art museum is free.
It is free,
Right.
yes.
Free
thank you.
expression,
Yes.
free admission.
Right, which
Exactly.
is a huge thing.
Exactly.
They are as accessible and open to the public as they possibly
Yeah.
can be. So we all need to support that.
Yes, thank you.
And in the past, it's been very successful too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't remember, but it's over $100,000
Yeah.
that's made that evening.
So you have a
Typically-
goal?
Typically, yeah. We are trying to keep it at that
Right.
high echelon, even though we have cut back on the amount of pieces that are up for sale. So last year we had 100 total. This year we've cut it back to even less, into fewer, to
80, 40 in the live, 40 in the
Because it's
side.
hard to fit
It is.
more into that time.
It
I mean,
is.
people get tired at some point.
Yeah, yeah. After a
Right,
while,
like
right.
the evening could be too long.
You don't want, things to go. Well, I'm just so excited for the event
I
and
am
40
too.
years. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
that
At the
is
Missoula
really
Art
wonderful.
Museum. Yeah.
And if you're out in the public and you're interested, you can also obtain this booklet that has reproductions of all of them.
So buy your tickets before Thursday, and then you
Yeah,
get to
you
go
could
to the
go to the
champagne
champagne
reception.
reception.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll see you all there on
Right.
February 7th.
The event is February 7th, UC Center Ballroom. Yeah, Anna, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming by.
thank you.
Good luck
Thanks for
with the
having me.
event.
Yeah, good luck. And we'll be right back. Joe Martinez is here from Missoula Community Theater, and he's going to talk about the mystery musical Clue right after this.
Love that game.
Yeah.
Can you spot the person with a brain injury? How about here? Or here? You can't always see a brain injury. There are people all around us with brain injuries. Meet Adeline, who suffered a fractured skull from a sledding accident. This is Glenn, who fell from his work truck. Missy was the victim of a random act of violence. Join Brain Injury Alliance of Montana March 30th for Bowl for Brain Strong. For more information and volunteer opportunities, please visit biamt.org.
Here's your bear spray, babe.
I don't need it. I can outrun them. Look, I ran track in high school.
No, you can't. You're not supposed to run from bears. And you did the shot put.
Okay, I'll spray down.
What? No, don't spray it!
My face is burning! My face is burning now!
When hunting in bear country, understand it puts you at risk. Be smart, be safe, be bear aware.
I have the power.
I have the power.
I have the power.
I'm Attorney General Tim Fox. You have the power to report suspected child abuse. All it takes is one phone call to 1-866-820-KIDS. If you even suspect child abuse, call.
You have the power to protect Montana's kids.
This message is brought to you by the Montana Attorney General's Office, the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services, and North...
Hi, we're back. Joe Martinez is here from Missoula Community Theater. Welcome and thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you. Anytime.
You guys have a great show going
Yeah,
on.
Clue the musical.
Clue the musical going on. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. That's all I can say. You know, it's a perfect. It's a perfect show for January. You know, in January in Missoula, love Missoula.
I know.
You know,
but look at today, sun
today's
shining.
Exactly, beautiful day.
Yeah.
But you know, we're used to the inversion and
the gray.
The gray.
Yeah,
so,
last week, not so beautiful.
Exactly,
yeah.
last week. So, you know, so January is a good time just to do something that's, you know, that you don't have to go in and really think about. I mean, you do have to think a little bit because there's some audience participation.
Right.
But, you know, we're not giving you a message and we're not doing anything. You know, it's
Just having fun.
We're just having fun. Like I said, it's silly. It's full of mayhem. It's a lot of chasing of people. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
It sounds like a very good invitation to it. And of course, I had to look it up on Wikipedia. And tell me if this is true for your production. The piece has an interactive feature in which audience members randomly select cards that determine which suspect committed the murder, which weapon was used, and in what room the murder took place. Based on the cards drawn, the show has 216 possible endings.
Correct.
So you could go every night and see a different show.
You could every night. Yeah, that's what's kind of fun about it. And we've already had, you know, we just opened on Friday last, and we've already had people who are coming back just because they want to see the multiple endings. You know, so that kind of makes it fun
You're
as
not
well.
going to see all 216.
Yeah, you'll never be able to do that. But yeah, it's, you know, at the very beginning of the show, it's set up just like the game. I mean, the set looks like the clue board, and you know, there's cards for the rooms and for the weapons and for the killers, and 3 audience members come up and they pick one from each deck, and it goes into the confidential envelope. Yay. And the only person that knows is Mr. Body. And if you know the game, the whole premise, if you read the instructions, the whole premise of the game is it's the Body Mansion, and Mr. Body has been murdered, and then you as the detective have to figure it out. Yeah. So Mr. Body is the main character. He kind of leads you through the game. So he's the only one that gets to look at the cards. He puts them in the confidential envelope. Yeah. They go on the set so people know that they never get touched again. And then he leads us through the game and gives clues throughout the 2 hours that the show happens. So
it does sound really fun. And the cast of characters, there's like the professor. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's
Colonel
Mustard,
Colonel
Professor Plum, Mr. Green, Miss Scarlet, Mrs. Peacock, and Mrs. White are the main characters, and then again Mr. Body, who's the narrator. And then in the second act, they bring in a detective who does, you know, who kind of takes over because Mr. Body has died at the end of Act 1. She comes in and she kind of helps lead you through. And again, it's a musical, and it's silly music, you know, and it's got feels of all kinds of different, you know, composers. It's got a little bit of Sondheim feel, a little bit of people who wrote Rent or Bat Boy, you know. So it's just all of a sudden there'll be a scene and they'll just break out into song and into dance. It's so typical what you think musical theater is. And again, and that's what makes it fun, you know, is they don't take themselves seriously, and they always know, and the characters always know that they are part of a game. That makes it, they know that they're in a one-dimensional world, and they're just game pieces, and somebody else is playing the game right now.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
The little plastic rope and the lead pipe and the revolver.
And you have to see it because, you know, our tech people are amazing, and they've created everything to look just like the game, you know, and so the cards look like the game, all the weapons look just like the game, characters are all dressed like the game, you know, they all have their own little game piece that lights up, so they're always their color.
Oh, this sounds really
It's
great.
really cool. It's really
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
cool.
So how
There's
long
time.
is the show going?
Well, it goes through February 1st, so through Sunday, February 1st, which happens to be Super Bowl
We
Sunday.
knew that, but some people seek refuge, do they
That's
not?
true. Not
watching the
exactly,
Yeah.
you know. So there are plenty of tickets for Super Bowl Sunday. So call and get your
And
tickets.
is it a matinee or evening?
Matinee and evening. We have a
Both.
2 o'clock and a
Oh.
6:30.
Okay.
Show's not that long. It's only 2 hours with an intermission, which is
Yeah.
also kind of nice because you're not there for a really long time.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, I would just say call the box office, but there's tickets all week. And we also have a thing that we're doing this year on specific shows. We have $10 tickets, and all they have to do is call the box office to find out what shows those are. You
Oh,
can get a $10.
728 play.
728 play is the
Yep.
phone number, yeah.
Great,
So call the box
great.
office. That's the front row of the theater. Just it's right behind the band, and so I thought let's make them a partial view, $10 seat, and then
Oh,
if
that's
people want to
great.
go back and see the show a second
Right.
time, they don't have to pay a
And
full
for
price
students
ticket.
and stuff, that's
It'll be right
Exactly.
up there where the action
Right.
is.
Exactly.
Now you
exactly.
have something going on the following
The
week
following
as well.
week, yeah, we have the Missoula International School, which is a Spanish immersion school. They and MCT, the Missoula Children's Theater, we're doing a collaboration of The Wiz of the West, which is a country western version of
yeah.
The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's fun.
And it will be in Spanish and English, and the kids are in rehearsal right now. It's all the kids that are in MIS school, and they are learning the show right now in Spanish, and they start rehearsing this Wednesday, actually. And then they'll come to the theater next week, and we'll put it together there on stage, and then they will have the performance on Friday the 6th. They will have 2 shows. So it'll be great. I mean, it's a great opportunity to come and see these kids from the school.
it would be,
It's,
yeah.
again, in Spanish, and it kind of makes it a little bit more fun. And again, you know, the narrator, the MCT actor, will do his role in English. So those people who don't understand Spanish could still at least follow the show. And yeah, you know, that's something we've done with the Missoula International School now for about 9 years. Every year we do a show. We usually do it up at their school, but this time we had the opportunity to give the kids a little bit more of a theater experience
Yeah.
because our building was open and available.
Oh, that's
You know, so they get to
great.
come and work on a stage and get theatrical
And that's
lighting.
so exciting,
And it's so
yeah.
exciting for them, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so there's 2 casts of 64. So there's a 4 o'clock show and a 7 o'clock show for that.
Amazing.
So, and again, people could call the box office. Tickets for The Wiz of the West are $7 for adults and $2 for kids.
Oh, it's easy enough.
It's,
to
yeah,
afford.
it's a $1 show. I mean, it's an hour show, you know,
Right.
so you could get in and get
fun
out.
to
So
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
Get your kids enthused
And the
about
kids would
another
like
language.
it.
Exactly. You know, and again, it's introducing children to theater, which is something that we're really striving to do. You know,
Yeah.
as I've been here for the last couple of years, you know, we notice that our audience members are starting to disappear a little bit, and it has not to do. I mean, it's just because, you know, of our patrons' age, you know,
Yeah.
and so it's really important for us now to start building new
generation.
Yeah, bringing in new
generations.
people.
Yeah.
I started in 6th grade in theater. It was such a
yeah.
lifesaver. School was so boring. to me. It really was. You know, I was kind of beside myself. And then one teacher said, "Oh, let's put on a show."
know.
And that's
it was
all it takes, isn't
Some
it?
kids,
You know?
that's, yeah.
Our Town. That was my first role. I was Doc Gibbs, you know.
Wow.
And then I was stage struck.
Yeah. See, mine didn't start until high school. It was my senior year in high school. Was the first time I thought,
Oh, yeah,
theater's
yeah.
kind of a
I
cool
know.
thing.
I was
you know?
Helena Choi, Trojan Women.
Is
Yeah,
that
see?
what you were, Helen of Troy?
Hard to believe, I know. It's
No, it's not hard to believe, but that is what a great role.
Right. So.
Well, there's always something interesting going on
Always.
at Missoula Community Theater, and go check out your website if
Yes.
you want more details.
MCTINC.org.
All
So,
right,
Joe.
yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you
Looking
know
forward
it.
to
Thank you,
Clue.
Joe. And we'll be right back, I hope, with Michael Moore.
Yeah,
He's
he
here to
didn't
talk
just
about Project
walk
Homeless
away.
Connect.
Yeah.
And I think he's here. So if he's not here, I'll tell you about it. Because I got the scoop. Is he here?
Yay.
He's here? All right. So we'll show you PSA. We'll get Michael situated. We'll be right back. Lazy legs. That was really interesting. The PSA was capturing our interest.
If he starts getting out of line.
No, I'll be fine. So we're here with Michael Moore. He is representing the United Way, and a number of other organizations have come together for another annual Project Homeless Connect. This is Project Homeless Connect of 2015. It's in its 9th year, and it's a one-day event that links those who are homeless or at risk of homelessness with a variety of services. So, Michael, thank you so much for coming over.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
you know, this is the kind of thing every year that inevitably some media person will say, well, aren't you guys so excited that you served 480 people? I'm like, you know, what would be success would be serving nobody.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I don't think we're in any danger of that happening quite yet. But you know, that's a noble goal.
It
and,
sure
and
is.
we'll keep adhering to it. But you know, last year I think we had 480 people throughout the course of the day.
Wow.
And I don't know, we didn't get a good count, but 50 of them were kids.
Wow.
You know, so.
And give us a big picture of what goes on during the day. What's
Well,
available?
the day is really, it's a service provider day. We have 75 different services thereabouts that will be offered during the day. And they range from the mundane, which is like getting your hair washed and getting a haircut, which if you've been on the streets for a while, it is perhaps not that mundane.
You're right, it could make a big difference.
Yeah, but then you could also, you know, we could qualify you to get a Social Security disability. So there might be a lady who will be there stitching up your coat. You might have your dog get some free dog food. You'll get a free meal yourself. You could maybe meet with a veterans counselor. You could meet with somebody that might could sign you up for food stamps. You know, there's just so many things. You could get your teeth cleaned.
Wow.
So it's an eclectic blend of things that could happen.
But kind of one-stop shopping.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop, and you know, there's a lot of communities that do this, and like I said before, it'd be great if we didn't have to do it. On the other hand, it'd be nice if we could do it more often.
Yeah.
But it you know, it takes a lot to pull it together.
Yeah, there are 75 different services, right, that people could get that day. And it's good to emphasize, I think, too, that it's for people that are homeless or at risk of homelessness.
Right, and you know that there's no magic code word at the door.
No one's checking.
No, I mean, if you feel like you're in need of some of these things, come on down.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend a night at the pub or check your bag under the Higgins Bridge or something.
Right.
Everybody's welcome. And the fact is that a lot of people will show up, and the volunteers say this every year, that it's like, hey, you know, it turns out I recognize that person, and they work out at a big box store, or I saw them, you know, they're a coffee cart person. Because in this town, although, you know, a lot of us adhere to the stereotype of who a homeless person is, and we think maybe it's that downtown person, or maybe it's the person who's panhandling me outside the Albertsons or whatever. You know, in this town, that group of people who are living on the street, that's about 10% of the homeless population. And it's much more likely that if you have a kid in the school district, one of their classmates is homeless.
Right.
If you've been checked out of a store by a retail clerk in the last month, there's a good chance you've encountered somebody who's homeless. They're not living on the street maybe, but they're couch surfing. They're in their car a couple of nights. They're in cheap motels on a few nights. That's who's homeless in Missoula. And really, those people do show up. And, you know, as often as we have a moment when, you know, there's kind of a eureka moment for somebody and they realize, whoa, I do qualify for a veterans benefit, or I could get a Social Security disability. There's just as many moments that are just sort of kind of crushingly sad.
Yeah.
People that you've seen year after year, or people who've never been homeless in their life.
But suddenly.
Yeah, you know, they're great people. They've had great jobs, great credit. Their kids do well in school, and then boom, they had a medical emergency and they're uninsured, or boom, dad left, and dad was the meal ticket. You know, there's a lot of people in this town, and all you have to do is look at sort of a demographic study matched up to an economic study in this town. There's a lot of people not very far away from being homeless.
Yeah, and especially if you think of the minimum wage and how prevalent it is in so many retail stores, you know, that there's so many of them now, and there's more opening up, like at the
And Missoula
South
has a
Crossing.
relatively high cost of living.
Yeah, and I mean,
Oh,
if you're a one-parent family living on a minimum wage job, you're not making it.
No.
You know, you might get in at the sort of the most inexpensive housing that we have in this town, but you might not.
Yeah, and there's a huge waiting list, you know, for Missoula Housing Authority.
Huge waiting list for Housing Authority, and this year, for the first time, we started up a bunch of rental assistance programs that are running through WORD and the Human Resource Council and the YWCA.
Oh, that's good.
And we'll have housed several hundred people this year through those programs, and the thing that they do is that they get people over that first and last month's rent barrier.
Right.
Because, you know, if you're making $1,200, well, you could maybe pay $600. That wouldn't be a great equation. We don't like to see that 50%.
50% of the income.
That's bad, but you'll never get in because you can't pay $1,800 to start.
First and last in a month's security.
So that's where we've got programs now that we're getting people over that initial barrier. So that's going well.
So when and where is this event?
Okay, the when and the where is it's 10 o'clock till 3 o'clock on Friday. The main sort of ground zero spot is the First United Methodist Church right across the street from the library on Main Street. There will be, most services are provided at the church. There are a couple of satellite services that some things go on in the public library. And this year we also have a few of the classrooms down at the Missoula Children's Theater. Thanks, Joe.
But it's all, but it's all right there.
It's all sort of walking distance
One
there.
block
And
almost,
so what we ask is that people come to the Main Street door of the church, and you know, people start lining up about 9:30. For people who have pets, they can bring them. We will have a dog crate for your dog, and we'll probably get your dog some free food as well. We will have some child care available this year. A lot of people who bring their kids bring them along with them throughout the day, and that's fine, but we will have qualified child care professionals there this year as well. The nice thing about this is that, you know, we will have somebody who's assigned to you. And
through the whole process,
that person
right?
will stick with you for the entire day and will, you know, they'll do their best to get you to every possible service, but they'll also just kind of lend you a kind ear. And, you know, we tell volunteers as we train them that the most valuable function you'll provide today is not leading somebody to the Social Security line or getting them into the haircut line. It's being there the whole time. Because every year we poll people, and their answer to what is the best thing about this day, it's like somebody paid attention to me.
I can't imagine that.
That's just sad.
Yeah, it is.
But, you know, when you're out there, and you know, a lot of these folks that come in, particularly people coming off the street, you know, they're suffering from some sort of mental health crisis, and, you know, they're very maybe concerned about even coming inside the building at all. And to have somebody who's just devoted to them, to listening to them, I think sometimes it's kind of a eureka moment for both parties.
I bet.
For the volunteer and the person who's being served. So 10 to 3, we will stop sort of taking people in about 2:30, because, you know, you can get there and be there for quite a while.
With all his 75 different things.
Yeah, there'll be coffee, there'll be food and sandwiches throughout the day. The university has been kind enough to set up some food for us, and the Poverello basically sets up shop in the kitchen there. Shelby from Poverello kind of runs the kitchen over there. And so, you know, there'll be coffee throughout the day. If it doesn't look like it's going to be a cold day this year, it looks like it's going to be
we get a warm week
in
coming
40s. So, you know, we always wonder what's that going to mean.
Right.
You know, we have had days where it was really cold, and people were anxious to come inside. Sometimes in balmier weather, it means that we don't maybe pull quite as many people in, but you you know, the fact is, it's a great day. If you need something, there's a good chance that we can get you in the right place. And sometimes it's just enough to meet maybe the right person there who can say, hey, you know, this may be a longer term project for you, but you need to go to X.
Right.
Because there's a program for you now that maybe wasn't available the year before. And we actually do, through the 10-year plan, we actually have some things available that haven't been available in the past. So.
And people will discover stuff they may not have known. You know,
Absolutely.
Human Resource Council provides heating assistance for people.
Yep.
That's income-based.
Right.
And people may not know at all. They might go, you know, for one reason and then learn something else that could help them.
Yeah.
One of the things I've found out this year through just being the Reaching Home coordinator is that a lot of times, you know, some people's needs kind of fit in between this program and fit into that, and they don't fit here. So I've had a lot of these people just showing up in my office. And sometimes it doesn't take anything more than me just getting on the phone to somebody and say, hey, this guy has a problem, and it's not really a problem that fits in a box, but it really is not that hard to solve.
Right.
And, you know, I've just found myself telling a lot of people, I was like, I need you to fix this.
And it worked.
And
you're a good person to know then.
it has worked. You know, we've had
something.
moments where I kind of walked away and I was like, I'm glad I called.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that funny?
I'm glad I
Well,
call.
what a huge organization.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of groups come
this is.
together.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of groups, and then the best thing though is that, you know, we got 200 people just from around the community who are taking time out of their day. Some are
That's
students, some are
impressive.
retirees, some are people that are just saying, hey, I work at the bank, but we're taking off Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're coming over. You know, I saw some of my own colleagues were sitting in the training this morning. And it's really people across the spectrum of Missoula jobs and incomes, and it's a really diverse group.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is, I think that as much value as the person who is homeless or maybe about to be homeless, for the value they get out of it, I think the volunteers get just as much out of it.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm sure
so
that's
many
true.
of those people have come back and just said, well, that was a revelation.
Yeah.
You know,
Because we're so caught off, you know, by various class distinctions.
Yep.
You know, way up in the spectrum is the gated community and the mansions you read about in the magazines. But right in front of us all the time is the world of the working and struggling poor. That if you're middle class or whatever, it just exists as this.
And so much of our culture operates around making that invisible. So you know,
that's true too.
Yeah, and this makes it all, you know, this makes it extremely visible.
Right. And I think it's a wonderful education for people. They say, well, what is that safety net all about? What are my taxes being used for these layabouts or whatever?
Come take a look.
Yeah, that's one way to interact with
Yeah,
people.
and come and listen
see
to
the
one
humanity,
or two, you know, most people, sometimes you'll have a person that stays most of the day, and your experience as a volunteer might be with that one person. But a lot of time people work through 3, 4, 5 different people, and they'll hear a really eclectic blend of stories that one of those stories is like, you know, that's not that far from me.
Right.
You know, and you know, I think you get a lot of that sort of there, but for the grace of whoever you choose to believe in. You know, it could be you. I mean, in this town, you know, there's a lot of people very close to that
working
edge.
multiple jobs and so on. And it just takes, as you say, like a health crisis or the loss of an important earner, or, you know, something happens to where they're living. You know, the heat goes out and they got to stay somewhere else for a while. Very difficult.
January 30th.
Oh, yeah.
Friday. This Friday.
Yeah, we're going to run out of
January
time.
30th.
Oh,
We
did
have
he?
to
I
wrap
was
it up.
wandering. Sorry.
10 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
10 to 3, January 30th. at
United
the-
Methodist Church,
On
300 Main Street.
Across from the library.
Correct.
That's right.
Thanks as always, Michael. You do great work in this community.
Well, I appreciate you guys having us on, and you know, like I said, this is a day that in an ideal world we won't have it one year, or maybe we'll all show up and think, hey, we're doing it again, and nobody will show up.
Well, we do, Dina. We're glad you're there.
Until further notice,
right.
we'll be there at the
If
end
you
of
need
January.
more information about the event, too, it's okay to mention your
absolutely.
phone number, 546-2478. You can talk to Michael or email him, michael@MissoulaUnitedWay.org. So I guess we better go, huh?
Yeah, all right.
Okay,
Missoula,
there was the
lots
first
going
show
on.
of 2015.
I know.
I got my goatee on. See, I may shave it off.
Let him know what you think.
Yeah, maybe let me, because it kind of bugs me, and I thought I'd go to the mustache next.
I'm loving it.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for watching this edition of Missoula Live. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird.
And I'm Kim Anderson.
We'll
Bye.
see you next time.